Good morning. It is 8:07 on News Talk 1079. It is a Friday, and we're glad to have you along this morning. If you'd like to join us on the program, that number's 208-542-1079. And Julie, we had a very, very interesting text that put things into perspective. The Panic Tour is about a $50 million program, which sounds like a lot. Like, it sounds like, you won the lottery, $50 million. That's a big number. However, when you consider what is the overall state budget? Probably $5 to $6 billion, something like that?
Yes.
Somewhere in there.
That's the right amount, because we were reading that piece that mentioned the overall budget.
So it is a minuscule amount of money compared to the state budget, but someone pointed out in one single school district, you had advocates for a $250 million bond in one district. This is 20% of that amount for the entire state. Now, it's kind of apples and oranges because it's a $250 million bond paid over 30 years versus an annual expenditure of $50 million. But still, to put it into perspective, the selective conniptions that people have is rich.
Also, I'm going to be very bold and upfront here. I voted for that bond.
Yeah.
I'm in that district. Yeah. I voted yes on the $250 million bond. I think that...
You're a Democrat.
I know. Yeah. I think there's times that we get pigeonholed into this place that we hate education. Yeah. We don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. What we love is kids.
Yeah.
And that's what we want education focused on, which is why I voted for that bond, which is why I also think this Panic Tour is ridiculous.
I do too. And I also want to add, I may lose cred with part of my audience. I don't think I've ever voted against a levy. Because I want our schools to have what they need to function and to function well, because all of my kids have gone through public schools. We've chosen some like online classes and courses, and we've done some things like that. They haven't always gone to the brick and mortar school, but we've always supported public education. I've always supported the levies. There have been bonds I voted against, but ultimately voted for because they went back and they refined the plan. I didn't feel like certain bond proposals were ready for prime time, so I voted against it. But in the end, I ended up voting for it. So you're exactly right. And we say that because we are supporters of public education. We're also scrutinizers of public education. And you can be both, and that's okay.
You can. And you can expect more of public education dollars.
Yeah.
You can go, hey, I'm willing to help this school district build a new high school, repair an existing high school, build a new elementary school. I'm all in on that, but I want a little bit back from you.
Yeah.
I need a little bit better in the school system.
Yeah, exactly. I've made this analogy before, but I think it is apt, and I think it's important to point out again. If you want your quarterback to be really good, you go out and you find yourself a really good backup quarterback.
It helps.
That is working hard. You are going to make your starting quarterback really good if you find a really good backup that is almost as good as that. I mean, when you do that, they're like, we've got to up our game. Like we have to, if we want to be the top choice of, in this case, families in Idaho to send their kids, then we have to elevate our performance. And I think they don't like that. They don't want a backup quarterback. They don't want a second string or a third string quarterback. And again, I've pointed this out before. When you look at the side-by-side figures, and I wish we had a visual here, Julie, because it would be like a 55-gallon drum filled with water, and next to it would be a little gallon jug of water. That would be the comparison here in terms of how the difference in money
Size.
Is going there. And they're screaming not a dollar more. When they're the $3 billion, I have to upgrade my figures here. A while ago, it was $2.3 billion. But when we talked with Chris Cargill yesterday, he said, no, it's like $2.7, $2.8 billion. They're the $2.8 billion behemoth saying not a dollar more, to a little comparatively puny $50 million program. Like I don't think their message is resonating here. I don't think it. You're the big gorilla on the block here, and I'm mixing a bunch of metaphors, but you're the big deal. Stop acting so stinking threatened by this. Mm-hmm. You have control of 98% of the funds that are going to education in Idaho. And you're running around with your hair on fire, screaming like it's the end of the world because we've created a little $50 million program that is an option for parents out there. To me, they project weakness. They project insecurity. And it makes me wonder, you must not be that proud of your product as an advocate for K through 12 education. If you're out there conducting panic tours and running around with your hair on fire over a $50 million program.
Have you ever witnessed somebody in their personal life working their guts out, but really all they're doing is spinning their wheels?
Yes.
There's actually not productivity happening.
I may have been that person at times. Yes.
Me also.
Yeah.
Like you have to recognize that in yourself. When you feel like you're moving a million miles an hour, but nothing really great is coming from that energy that you're expending.
Yum.
That's what I think about this panic tour.
Yeah.
If you really want to make a difference in education, stop this. And if all this is actually about is raising money for Democrat lawmakers, then you're just being dishonest to everybody else.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one it is. I don't know if you're spinning your wheels and no energy is coming from it. Nothing good for education is coming from it. Or if you're actually holding political rallies with a false banner of Save Our Schools. I don't know which one it is. Maybe a little bit of both. Neither one is helping kids.
Yeah. No, they're not. Also, Julia, you just said Save Our Schools. So I went on Facebook. I was trying to find the audio from the Pocatello one that they held this week. And I did find it. But I also, you know what else I found? There's a Save Our Schools Arizona. There's a Save Our Schools just generic. All of them are anti-voucher, anti-alternative, pro-public education. This is not some grassroots group that just naturally emerged in Idaho. This is a copy and paste template.
Plug and play.
Yes, that gets used from state to state, and they find a funding source, and they find the Democrats and the angry Republicans to staff these things. And in a way, I think you're getting good people that are being used by this. I really do. And I would bet you how, do you remember during COVID, Julie, we would hear from doctors and nurses that are be like, don't say my name, but I think the vaccines are crap, or whatever. They would express this dissenting view. And I bet if you went and you talked to, just found random public school teachers, and you talk to them, they're like, I'm not threatened by House Bill 93. Like, you have these loud voices with megaphones, but I would bet most teachers out there are like, they can do math, and they can recognize this is a tiny little program that at most can serve about 10,000 students in the state. Our student population in Idaho, K through 12 age, is about 330,000 students. You're talking about maybe one kid per classroom. But really, it's probably less than one kid per classroom if it gets taken fully advantage of. Like, there's not going to be this exodus from the schools.
And that's the highest level right there. That's if you assume that some of these kids aren't even, that some of these kids that will take advantage of this aren't already being homeschooled and private schooled.
Yeah. Correct.
So that's what you presented was...
If it was only current public education kids.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
So it's going to be less than that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's true. A lot of these families are already having alternatives. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be a subtraction of students from K through 12.
Right. I feel like Save Our Schools has an argument that actually doesn't help their local schools. So these have taken place everywhere. Last night was Pocatello. There was American Falls. They did Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
I would actually challenge you, Save Our Schools. Don't do a copy and paste. Don't do a plug and play. Talk to American Falls and say, give me 3 specific things you need. 3 specific things. And then take that energy that you spent at that town hall that's not a town hall and actually help American Falls with their problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Idaho Falls School District, do that. Then in Shelley School District, do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to spend this energy, actually pay attention to what each individual school district needs, not this generalized gripe tour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And going back, Julie, we talked about it earlier this week. The timing of the gripe tour is really weird because we move on from things really, really fast. And they're doing the panic tour this summer. It will be forgotten. Its influence will have dissipated probably by September or October. There's not even an election that's going to impact this for another year plus. I mean, it's weird that they're putting all of this effort in, and for what, like, maybe they just felt like they couldn't wait. Like, we got to get going.
Spinning of the wheels. That's like, what I said.
Patience is a virtue in a lot of cases. And if you decided that you felt like this panic tour was going to be effective in persuading people, it would have been much smarter to wait till 2026. You do it over the summer and into the fall of 2026. You might pick off a legislator here or there, but they're doing this, and it's like throwing a rock in a pond. You're making a bit of a splash, but all the ripples will be gone in time for any election.
The pond might be empty.
Right, exactly. I'm
by the time the election comes around.
But I will say, and I say this with love and respect, because I really do. I like the most visible faces here. I consider James Ruckty a friend. I like Jim Guthrie. I like Rick Cheatham. We've interviewed all of them. Carol Honus. And who doesn't like Carol Honus, right? You're looking at me. I disagree with her in politics. But, I mean, she keeps getting tapped to do this because she was a broadcaster forever in East Idaho. I think people like Carol, but I think Prop 1 is an example of they don't necessarily listen to Carol for their political opinions, if that makes sense.
I think people like Carol doing the cooking segment on the TV station. I think that is really enjoyable, Carol.
Right, but political Carol,
yes,
maybe
not so much.
Yeah, in doses. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the deal. I don't think this is effective. I think that it is ill-timed also because it's a settled issue. It's law.
Yeah, they lost it.
You lost. Yeah. It's law. So now, why don't you watch and see how it helps and how it harms, and then go from there?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, it's Brad from Now 105.1 and QP99. I'm in the studio here. I love our studios, by the way. Ranger Rick back there. There's Neal and Julie doing their thing. Hey, when you want to advertise on the radio, what do? You call the radio station, right? But what do you do when you want to advertise on Facebook and Instagram and Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and the other TV streaming services? You can kind of click around on them and make guesses or read books or take courses online on how to do that advertising. Or you could call us at the radio station. At Sandhill Media, we take care of your local radio and digital marketing. So reach out to us at sandhillmediagroup.com and we'll make sure that your message gets heard and seen wherever your customers are.
Julie, I'm telling you, they're worried it's going to be successful. That is their biggest fear, is that this is going to help kids.
That's really ugly.
It is ugly, but I think that's exactly the problem.
Do you know who you are? You're, what was the blonde's name that kneecapped Nancy Kerrigan?
Tanya Harding.
You're the Tanya Harding.
That's true. That's true.
What are you doing?
Well, we talk about projection a lot on here, and they're saying that House Bill 93 is about dismantling your neighborhood school. I think they're projecting.
Yeah.
I think they're the ones that want to dismantle. Mm-hmm. And they don't want any alternative. And they will say, well, if you want private school for your kid, you need to pay for private school for your kid. Well, they do pay their taxes.
Yeah.
And so I had a little, I wouldn't say sparring, but I had a little exchange with someone. Earlier, they texted, well, to get a tax credit, one first has to have a tax liability. So they're saying, I guess they're arguing that if you're a family and you don't pay at least $5,000 in state taxes, with your filing, you should not be getting this tax credit. Mm-hmm. So I very lovingly and gently texted them back, and I said, everyone who makes purchases in Idaho and owns property in Idaho has a tax liability. Okay, the grocery tax credit is it's not a refund based on your income taxes that you're paying. That's a tax credit for the sales tax that you've paid over the year. Mm-hmm. So you can't just go in and say, the only thing I can count as a tax liability is what I pay in an annual check to the state on April 15th. You have tax liability just by functioning. If you go to the grocery store, you have a tax liability. If you pay a mortgage, you have a tax liability. And so I don't know that property taxes go to the state. That's more of a local taxing issue. Mm-hmm. So we might be able to sequester that one out. But if there's commerce in your state, you have a tax liability. So they want to winnow it down to the only tax liability that we can talk about is what you pay in your income taxes or is withheld from your W-2 or whatever. I'm like, no. If you're operating in society, you have a tax liability and you are a taxpayer. Okay,
wait. Walk this through with me then. If that would be one of the arguments that Save Our Schools would bring forward.
Yeah.
Don't those who make the most money have the biggest tax liability?
That's true. Now you're arguing that only the rich can get this.
Right.
That's a good point. Yes, it's true.
It is just gymnastics.
It's back. Can I also say you pay a lot of phantom tax too, because corporations are taxed in Idaho. They just pass that cost on to the consumer. Mm-hmm. You're paying more for the stuff you get and the services you get because the state is taxing them. Now, we have pretty good tax rates here in Idaho, corporate tax rates, but you're still paying more. And even though it may not technically on a government form be your tax liability, you're paying that corporate tax in higher pay. So I don't like this narrowed down point to what'd you pay in income taxes. And that's the only thing you can't. We all pay a lot in taxes, whether it's officially
all over the place
or just this phantom passed on tax.
Yeah.
Okay. You all go out and claim one college credit for the last 10 minutes because I feel like we've just, we have to take a break, though.
We do need to take a break.
All right. 208-542-1079. By the way, we have a studio for cover this morning, Julie. Shelby Ray Murdoch is a fiddler.
Yes.
Andrea Alonso is a vocalist, and they're going to be performing Caitlin Butts, You Ain't Gotta Die to Be Dead to Me.
We're super excited about this one.
It's a very fun song, and that'll be in about 10 minutes from now on News Talk 107.9. It's 8:28 on News Talk 107.9. Grand Peaks Prime Meats, proud sponsor of the program and proud fillers of the freezer for Neal and Julie. We got lots of ribs and cuts of meat, and I don't think dogs aren't really your thing. So
that doesn't, but lots of it is for lots of other people.
Yeah,
and they're good.
They have brats and they've got really good beef franks, and anyway, so yeah, I love it. And every weekend now, one of my big decisions is which cut of meat from Grand Peaks am I going to cut?
It's gotta be the spicy hamburgers this weekend.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
I might do it tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
Yeah.
This is a great idea.
I'm having a 2-day hiatus on my, because I do the low carb thing, and I've been really good about it the last few weeks. But this may be TMI, but sometimes things don't move all that great. Like there's traffic congestion somewhere. And to ease
This is really part of their endorsement?
it wasn't intended to be. But what I'm saying is sometimes I need to do like a 1 or 2 day hiatus.
Okay.
On this, and then I get right back to it. And so I can have a nice bun with a big old juicy burger from Grand
Let's
Peaks
do
Prime
it.
Meats.
You need to have it happen tonight.
See, all these people are now running down there to buy this. So
I'm
they can
sure
have their own,
this was the shining. In fact, we should pull this audio and send it to them because this is so good.
No, we are not. In fact, if anything, we're going to give them an extra one for this one because I did not mean to work all that into this endorsement.
Okay, stop talking.
Okay. Thanks.
If you go to gpprimemeats.com, you can see the spicy hamburgers. They're available there to order. There's also an entire grilling package if you're thinking about grilling this weekend or in the upcoming days. And if you don't see something that you're looking for, just give them a call because they're super great to work with. So again, that's gpprimemeats.com.
Thank you for the rescue.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. When we come back, Studio 4 covers Shelby Ray Murdoch, Andrea Alonso performing You Ain't Gotta Die to Be Dead to Me. It's all just ahead on News Talk 1079, 830. It's 8:35 now on News Talk 1079 on the Neal Larson Show, and it's Friday. Julie, that means Studio 4 covers, and we're super excited to have in studio a couple of musicians, both of whom we've actually had perform for us before, both here and in a former life. But Shelby Ray Murdoch is a fiddler. Hi, Shelby. Well, it's good to have you with us. And also Andrea Alonso, who joined us, a couple months ago, I think. So,
good morning.
How are you both?
Doing good. Yeah, doing great.
Well, I didn't realize, but you two perform together quite a bit.
Yep.
And you have a band?
Yeah, we have a band called Out West, and we do a lot of cover songs. And yeah, we also do like some of my original stuff. So
okay, well that's what we do here. It's been a few years since we've had you, Shelby. So tell us about you, and I guess reintroduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah, so I grew up in Bingham County. I live in Blackfoot now, and I grew up playing fiddle music. I still play fiddle music. I love to teach and perform. I own Snake River Strings Co. We started in 2019, and we're still running it. We have 4 locations now. One in Pocatello, one in Blackfoot, one in Idaho Falls, and one in Rexburg.
Oh, good.
And so we teach music lessons, all different instruments, all different styles.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I do a lot of my time. Full time, I run that and help train our teachers and help put together programs and recitals and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
And yeah, actually just was it October or November? I had just barely met Andrea because she does a lot of her solo stuff and writes music, and we kind of got our paths crossed and we started playing together. Yep. And now we play for some weddings, and we still have like our solo stuff that we do, but then every once in a while we'll play together, and it's always fun to collaborate.
So what's the name of your band?
It's called Out West.
Out West. Oh, you mentioned that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain's
No,
a little
you're
off today. So, and how do people find you? Social media, and what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I have my personal social media. It's Shelby Ray Fiddle, and then our business is Snake River Strings Co. Just the at Snake River Strings Co. And then our band is at Band Out West.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so on all of those, we post, when we have upcoming gigs, performances, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Andrea, yours?
Yes, my personal Instagram is Andrea J. Alonso. And then, like she said, our band is at Band Out West. Have some fun projects coming up, some new releases. I have a release next Monday, so make sure to check that out.
Can you give us 15 seconds of your new release?
No.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, shoot. I'm not ready for it this morning.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't bring my capo. I didn't bring my
Okay.
capo. I would have. I'm so sorry.
Okay, if we had known, we
They'll
would
just have to stream it.
You'll just have to
They'll
stream it on Monday.
pre-save.
Okay.
Go
All right.
pre-save
Well,
and stream it on Monday.
Spotify, Apple Music, all that fun stuff.
We'll build the suspense for you then, so check that out. All right, you've chosen a song, Caitlin Butts. Excuse me. Is it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Caitlin.
it is. Yep.
You ain't gotta die to be dead to me.
Yeah.
I mean, just the title's funny. Like,
Yeah.
So go ahead.
We've just really enjoyed playing this song. I saw her sing this live, and I was just in awe, and I felt really inspired.
So Andrea's actually been living in Nashville. She's back and
Yes.
forth between Nashville and here a lot. And did you see her in Nashville?
Yeah, I saw her in Nashville.
Okay.
Out there, a free pop-up concert.
Okay, now you've triggered a memory because when we
Yes.
had you on, you were getting ready to go out to
Yes,
Nashville.
that's
And-
actually true.
Okay, give us a really quick update. How's that going?
It's been so good. I met so many cool musicians that are on my music that are playing on the music that I'm recording now, and just a lot of co-writes. And yeah, I'll be going back soon. So
okay, well, awesome. All right, Shelby Ray Murdoch, Andrea Alonso. You ain't gotta die to be dead to me. So
that's right.
Let's do it.
My mama taught me when I was a girl, if a man is a problem, take him out of your world. Leave room for the sunshine and no room for clouds. Just pretend he's no longer around and say, you ain't gotta die to be dead to me. You ain't gotta die to be dead to me. Well, you ain't gotta be 6 feet deep, pushing up daisies up through concrete. No, you ain't gotta die to be dead to me. He was a drinking and a hollering, and you know how that goes. He was talking to women that I didn't know. So when they surely ask me, how's your boyfriend been, I'll just say, who? I have never heard of him. You know, I think I have heard of that man. I think I heard he got mauled by a bear, run over by a train. Maybe. Hopefully. You ain't gotta die to be dead to me. You ain't gotta die to be dead to me. Well, you ain't gotta be 6 feet deep, pushing up daisies up through concrete. No, you ain't gotta die to be dead to me. So here is your first and your final warning. There won't be no car wrecks or rat poisoning. So if you cross the line, no, there won't be no crime. I'll just say adios, sayonara, well, bye. You ain't gotta die to be dead to me. You ain't gotta die to be dead to me. Well, you ain't gotta be 6 feet deep, pushing up daisies up through concrete, mauled by a bear, sung by a bee, clip your toenails and get gangrene. No, you ain't gotta die to be dead to me.
Shelby Ray Murdoch, Andrea Alonso, that was fabulous.
Thank you.
You guys did a great job. You're performing in Jackson Hole today?
Yep, yeah, we've got a wedding we're playing today, and then we actually have a gig we're playing with the band tomorrow night at the Tumbleweed in Blackfoot. From
9 p.m. to midnight. It's free admission on their back patio, so we'd love to see some people.
We've got the full band.
Yep.
It's gonna
Check
be fun.
them out at the Tumbleweed. That's great.
Yep.
All right, you guys are great. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
It's 8:43 now. It's 8:47 on News Talk 107.9. Neal Larson and Julie Mason on this Friday morning. I feel like when you introduce that song, Julie, you can't introduce it as "You Ain't Gotta Die to Be Dead to Me." It should be introduced as "You Ain't Gotta Die to Be Dead to Me." Anyway, well, good. So much fun to have them in today.
So cute. So cute.
By the way, our friend Brian Murdoch, East Idaho's water advocate, is Shelby's father-in-law. We made that connection this morning. So
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be super proud of that girl.
Yeah, very, very much so. Very much so. All right. Well, Yeah, politics.
Okay, we got to go back.
Can
we just do more country songs?
Yeah, I could use more of that today.
There's wives to leave that have to leave. There's dogs to die. There's businesses to lose. That's country. Let's do it.
That's true. There's beers to drink and double wides to live in and, all that. Anyway, Trump, Brennan. Oh, I caught this clip this morning. This is John Brennan. And by the way, Jonathan Turley is saying John Brennan's the 30-point buck out in the open. Like, out of all the potential perjury cases, John Brennan is the guy most likely to get it. Mm-hmm. So here's Brennan. He's on one of the lefty networks. Here's what he said.
Tulsi Gabbard, she may be impaired on the ethics front, certainly, but she's not impaired on the intellect front. And so I can only presume that she is doing this intentionally mischaracterizing, misrepresenting, and lying about what she has found.
Notice there wasn't any specific point that he's refuting. It was just this generic, she's lying about
Tulsi.
me. Well, which part is a lie? Mm-hmm. She's lying about me. Mm-hmm. Which part? She's just lying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So get a little specific, Brennan.
What I did appreciate about Jonathan Turley is the opinions about whether or not there can be charges brought have vacillated widely, especially the treason charge that Tulsi Gabbard keeps bringing up, that word that they keep using. There's a lot of people saying there's no way you're going to be able to charge with treason. I like that Jonathan Turley got deeper on it and said, hey, let's actually talk about these people individually, and he could be in trouble.
Yeah, he could. Here's Turley and what he had to say.
And it does appear that a couple of these figures may have committed perjury. I think the most vulnerable may be Brennan, who's like a 30-point buck now out in the open. I mean, this stuff goes directly to information that he gave to Congress. It seems to be in contradiction. And so there are real questions here. I mean, people talk about, well, you can't charge Obama. That's very likely the case. He's probably protected. But these individuals, whether it's Comey or Brennan, are not protected from perjury charges if the statute of limitations has not run. They are more likely to be called again to repeat prior testimony.
Okay. Yeah, he's in trouble. Mm-hmm. Well, and I think in Brennan's mind, all he has to do is find Tulsi with one factual error. But that's not how the legal system works. Tulsi just has to find one lie he's made. And there's multiples. She just has to be right one time. And I think in his mind, she has to be right about everything. And that's not how this is going to work out.
I think there's a lot to be said about the clip that you played from Brennan also. Man, they think they're untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
Obama, they just think they can make the rounds, put out a statement, and just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Like, that's their take on it. And for me, that gives me even more reason that something's got to be done here. Even if it's minor charges, you've got to take it as far as you possibly can.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Obama's probably protected, just because we typically, although it's not true, they went after Trump. But I don't know that it just gets very complicated when you try to indict and prosecute a former president. But I think the others, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, some of there were more than that. I think they may be in big trouble and maybe even prison time.
We'll have to see.
And now I'll wait for the text saying they're never going to get prison time. Yeah, that's true, but
they may not.
All the rules are kind of out the window. We live in a different age right now with Donald Trump. Okay, Julie, I did a little research. We played this and we got our hopes up. We actually saw this. We were in our staff meeting yesterday, and you showed me a screenshot that The View is going on hiatus, and Joy Behar spilled the beans.
And before we go on hiatus, we only have one more show after this. I'm allowed to say that, right?
Too late now.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Before we go, I wanted to tell people that the tide is turning. The tide is turning, and things are changing. I mean, the ultimate irony would be that Rupert Murdoch will take him down.
Yeah.
Fox News, who created the monster.
Okay, so she's going on her, Donald Trump, Trump delusional syndrome, whatever. The hiatus thing, they do this every year. Mm-hmm. They take a break every year. And so we were thinking, Is this a hiatus for ABC to consider whether or not they want to? No, this is just their annual.
I know. We got really excited about it when it was put out there yesterday.
Yeah, it's really a shame. I'm a little angry that Joy Behar got my hopes up that they may be canceling The View when it's not. In fact, you were all ready to go to Brolam's and get the balloons.
I was.
And the cake.
I'm like, if this comes real later today, because it was maybe 15 minutes after we got off air yesterday.
Yeah.
That I saw the X. And I said, oh my goodness, if this is real, if this really happens, I am buying balloons and cake, and we are having it in studio tomorrow.
Yeah, we were going to do the happy dance. We were going to play Kool and the Gang on loop, celebrate good times. Like we were going to.
We should play that anyway.
Yeah, we should. And you know what's a shame is they do play reruns of The View. They ought to just not air it at all.
I'm holding out a little bit of hope, little glimmer within my heart that during the hiatus they reevaluate. And they're not going to come back.
Here's the problem. In my research this morning to find out, is this hiatus an annual thing or is this, an off-ramp for the show? I also asked the question, not really kind of bracing myself for an answer I didn't like. I said, how are ratings and revenue for The View? It's one of ABC's more solid programs, sadly.
Oh, shoot.
They average like 2.2 million people. And so it's a solid audience for that time of day, and there were no public disclosed figures in terms of how much revenue it brings in, but I don't think The View is going anywhere anytime soon, which is really a shame.
I was going to say, you know what this means, right?
What?
I will be providing you more clips.
Okay, you know what? I swear. Hold on. For every minute of The View you make us listen to, Julie, I get to read 5 minutes of a Jim Jones column.
Okay, I'll make that trade because I can refute and tear apart all of Jim Jones' arguments. So there we go.
But there's a caveat. You cannot multitask during it. Like, you have to sit and listen to the garbage that I read to you.
That would mean I'd have to change my whole thing because I multitask through everything that we do.
You know what? I want you, if we have to, I'll tell you, look, if you're even passively listening to The View, the misery level of that is equivalent to active listening of a Jim Jones column.
Jim Jones is going, yay, woo! He's pretty proud of himself now, if that's where you just put him on the scale.
We have a couple of minutes here. Can I, let me see, I think it was in the Idaho Capital Sun.
It was.
And let me read this to you. Because this was just terrible. We have had good reason to believe that the governor, Brad Little, was headed toward full-on MAGA. After all, his support for substantial cuts to Medicaid this session, and listen to these words, his belief that parents who send their kids to private and religious schools should get a tax credit of $5,000 per kid, which is technically true, but it's completely incomplete and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because the governor signed House Bill 93. By the way, we're circling back to that issue right now. Every parent should be able to get a $5,000 tax credit for their kid. It's not just, he makes it almost sound like the only parents that are eligible for the $5,000 tax credit are those who send their kids to private school. And that's not an accurate representation at all. But that's the insinuation he wants to give when he writes that sentence like that.
Also, I would love to ask Governor Little, just how do you feel about taking these arrows from Jim Jones? Because you've aligned with him at times. You've, rubbed shoulders, knocked out, you've been in their camp before. And here he is throwing you under the bus. How does that feel?
Yeah. There's no loyalty there.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting though, because here's the problem. And I don't know why this happens. I mean, I have some suspicion, but I think Butch Otter has tarnished his legacy horribly by aligning with Jim Jones on this. And he might take issue with the characterization that he aligned with Jim Jones, but that's the optics of it. When they try to pass the Proposition 1 together, that was a 30-70 issue. You're out of touch now with where Idaho's at. All right, it's end of hour 1. We'll be back. We'll continue with hour 2 of the Neal Larson Show coming up on News Talk 107.9. Welcome back. It's hour 2, 9:07 on News Talk 107.9. And serendipitously, Julie, we have, of course, had Shelby Murdoch in. We also had Andrea Alonso. They were singing in studio for covers. And we looked through the glass, and we saw one of our friends, Sergeant Brian Lovell, in some of the other studios.
I'm ready to sing, too.
Well, we'll do a doubleheader on the Studio 4 covers this morning.
You heard good singers before. Now I'm going to ruin all that today.
Well, they do that on American Idol. Yeah. You just got to be ready to be mocked.
Yeah, you got to have, well, that's part of the script in American Idol or whatever. You got to have the bad with the good.
Yeah.
Pants on the ground, looking like a fool. I remember all that, too. Yeah. So, no, Sergeant Lovell is in our group this morning, making the rounds, talking about the Guns and Hoses game.
Guns and Hoses game. This is the 14th annual Guns and Hoses game. So it's sheriff's office deputies with the Fraternal Order Police Lodge and Idaho Falls firefighters. We've got together to play this softball game to raise money for Make-A-Wish in Idaho. I think in the last 13 years, we've definitely passed the $100,000 mark for them, and I know it costs between $6,000 and $8,000 per wish that they grant. So, we started this. That was just an important thing we all wanted to give back. So we put this game together, and they try to play serious softball, but we've found ways for the crowd to interject in that and sort of fix the game from their seat. They can buy points for their favorite team. They can interrupt in other ways, and plus there's raffles in the souvenir T-shirt. We have a different shirt every year. And it's a lot of fun. It's a ton of fun.
Okay, so clearly you're part of the gun side of Guns and Hoses.
Yeah. Well, I babble on the microphone and try to work the crowd for donations.
Gotcha.
So they don't put me on to play the same as I don't come on here to sing.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
They're hoping for a few home runs, and so Brian's going to work the microphone.
You said it's the 14th annual. What's the record?
Let's see.
Do we know?
Well, it might be debatable among teams because some feel like they really won, and then because the crowd,
it's like the 2020 presidential election.
Gotcha. Exactly. Yeah. So because the crowd buys points. Like last year's score was 180 something to 160 something. The firefighters have won the last I think 3 years in a row. The sheriff's office won for about 6 years. The firefighters won the first couple of years. There's a traveling trophy that went missing. There was a point a few years ago that Sheriff Wild had to get a civil order at the game. We read this civil demand letter to get the traveling trophy, or we were going to do a search warrant on the fire station for it and stuff. And then, of course, we got a new one come up, and whatever. I think it just got lost or whatever. But, that's the friendly competition of it. And they we usually do about 7 innings of 7 innings of serious softball, or 7 innings of shenanigans, and then the last couple innings just let them play straight up serious, softball for the crowd. But I think they're trying to keep track of the actual points in the background. But I think even when one wins and one loses, it's debatable on who played the better game.
Yeah, I got you.
So if I show up tonight, am I going to hear trash talking between you two?
Yes.
Like the two sides?
I try to be fair and trash talk. I'm trying to work both sides and try to be fair and trash talk the guns a little bit for the hoses and vice versa. But
here's what I think. I think the hoses should put up their own trash talker. I think
we have usually the sheriff or the chief deputy or one of the fire chiefs. Both of those are the umpires.
Okay,
and the firefighter chiefs, they get busy, and I don't know if they got chief coming tonight. The last couple of years we've just had the sheriff, and so there's been a few calls that they felt like maybe leaned one way, not the other.
Yeah, right.
But it's fair. Sheriff's fair. Everybody trusts sheriff. So,
gotcha.
But they should put up their own trash talker maybe a little bit.
Okay.
But my brother Mike helps me. We do some other announcing things together here and there, and so really we just babble ridiculously and we have fun. I don't know if everybody else has fun, but it raises money, and the best part is the very end when both teams are out there, and Julie Thomas with Make-A-Wish Idaho is there, Sometimes we get Make-A-Wish kids, and they all come out on the field, and we give them the big novelty check with the winnings and what was donated for the night, and that's the best part right there.
So if I want to come, where do I need to show up at?
Gates open at 6, game time's at 7. It's at Melaleuca Field, and Melaleuca Field and the Chuckers have been awesome to us, given they let us use the facility on a night that they're not using it. They have concessions and stuff there. They are so great to work with. We couldn't do this without them letting us use that great facility. So it's open seating. It's a suggested donation of $5 per person or $20 for a family at the door. Yeah. And every penny goes to Make-A-Wish. So
that's really cool. I do have one last question because the sheriff's deputies are playing. What agency provides security at the venue?
I think it's just sort of like self-secure.
It is okay. Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So
just curious.
We've had a few years in a row where we've competed with other big things in town going on, so it's kind of hard to get a crowd. But still, I think we were $18,000 we got last year, and so there's not a lot going on tonight in the area. So we're hoping for a big crowd.
I think the weather's going to be nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. If you get there early, you can sit in the shady, nice seats there because it's open seating and. Get your concessions and all that.
Okay, gates at 6, first pitch at 7, Melaleuca Field, guns and hoses.
Yep. Shenanigans at its finest.
And it's really all for Make-A-Wish.
All for a good cause.
Yes. All right. Thanks. Sergeant Brian Lovell, thank you so much for coming in.
Appreciate it.
All right, 9:13 on News Talk 107.9.
One of the most significant pieces of evidence that was revealed in that report we released yesterday is the fact that Russia claimed to have very, very damaging information, high-level DNC emails relating specifically to Hillary Clinton's physical and mental health, and DNC leaders questioning whether or not, if elected, she would even be capable of carrying out the duties of the presidency.
Okay, we're back. Neal Larson and Julie Mason. So I heard this clip from Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence. Shouldn't that be a scandal all its own that Hillary Clinton's health was that bad? The DNC was concerned if she could even carry out the duties of the office. And nobody's worried about that part of it. The another layer of scandal that's getting all the attention is Russia didn't use it. Like, wait a minute. Hold on. We're leapfrogging something here. The Democrats tried to get somebody mentally and physically unqualified to be the president. Does that sound familiar to you?
More than once, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of their MO, right?
It is.
I mean, Kamala could even be peripherally in this camp. So we have now Tulsi Gabbard saying she's got evidence that Hillary was firmly in this camp of not being able to carry out the duties because you're physically impaired. We know for certain Biden was there. So if Tulsi has the evidence, Hillary was there. We all know Biden was there. I mean, it's been proven now. Kamala's kind of on the edges of this, too, because there's tons of reporting that she was drunk half the time.
Yeah.
And we know she didn't have the skill for it.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so is this just who they've got in the Democrat Party?
Wait, we're skipping back past another point. She wasn't qualified when she was sober.
Yeah.
So...
Then you physically alter it.
You add a few blood alcohol points to that, it's even worse. So.
Yeah. So that's your last 3 big players on the presidential stage.
Yeah.
How embarrassing for them.
Well, it is embarrassing for them. And there's nobody. Like, nobody's been groomed to take over. I think Hillary probably has a pipe dream of running. And, of course, Joe Biden's done. I think Kamala's done. She might be flirting with a California governor's race or something. Who cares, right?
She's speaking today. She's back out on tour today. So this will be probably Monday when you and I come back on air. I'm going to have clips ready for you that she steps all over herself again. Because that's just what she does when she gets in front of people.
Yeah, she does. You're right. And I feel, who are the one? You look, Gavin Newsom, maybe. But I don't think America's going to embrace Gavin Newsom. California's a disaster under him. Mm-hmm. He's got a silver tongue. He's got a chiseled look. He looks like a president. He may sound like a president, but he doesn't perform like a president. And I think that's going to be real problematic for them for 2028, because I think Donald Trump has, I don't want to say the word trained because that's too condescending about the American people, but I do believe that he has conditioned the American people to stop looking at the glossy optics, care about authentic, care about being real, care about being gritty, and care. I think that's what we look for now in American politics today. We're not looking for a movie star, someone with the Gavin Newsom look. We're looking for a street fighter that can get in there and get crap done.
Isn't that interesting that the side that says embrace everybody, be part of everybody, they're the ones paying attention to the look. They're the ones worried about Trump's orange skin. You're so hypocritical.
That's true.
We're supposed to be inclusive to everybody. You're the one with the bumper stickers that coexist.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to leadership, you're busy making fun of the way the leaders look, and you're so worried about the way your leaders physically look.
And if we say one thing about Rachel Levine, all of a sudden they clutch their pearls.
Yes.
And how dare you?
Mm-hmm. Little bit hypocritical.
Well, I
that was a tough word to get out.
Yeah. I also, you look back, the Democrat Party from Jasmine Crockett to AOC to Rachel Levine they are a cast of clowns, Julie. Mm-hmm. They really are. They're just a bizarre bunch of DEI, non-merit promoted people that have not done good things for the United States of America. And I feel like they're almost like cast members of a really, really bad Saturday Night Live crew.
Yep.
So, all right. 208-542-1079. I wrote a bunch of stuff. You sent me this a picture of a CNN story. And apparently some of the emerging robots are white. Think stormtroopers in Star Wars, but they're robots. And some writer at CNN said, this may have racist undertones to it. The fact
because why are the robots white?
Okay. That is so...
You're reaching.
We are so past that now.
Uh-huh.
I think 90% of the public sees stories like this and they roll their eyes and they're like, just stop it. Okay. Even if you're really proactive on racial diversity and, that is your pet issue, there's very few people in the American public that are going to get upset because the plastic on the robots is colored white.
Yeah. I don't know what other color would have been good for them. Someone retweeted the post and said underneath it, yeah, and if the robots were black, CNN would be running a story about how white people own black robots. Racism.
Absolutely they would.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go around and find offense wherever we go.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I do believe that, this idea gets started that white plastic robots are somehow racist. Given not enough of a drumbeat, there would be people that would say, well, we need different colors of robots. Like and there are different colors, but not enough. We need different proportions of different colors of robot. How about we just make them all green and purple? And so,
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there would be some problem with that as well.
I'm sure there would be.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would be. So
they would be too colorful. They're not blending in. They're like anything. I don't know what it would be, but it would be something.
Yeah. So, Julie, for the last few years, although I did buy an electric lawnmower, so I went from alpha to beta with our lawnmower.
Only when you're playing landscaper. The rest of your life, you're still alpha.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm alpha, but I'm like, I am sick of dealing with gas and oil and stuff. So I about 3 years ago, I think I bought an electric lawnmower. I have not been that thrilled with it. Like, it's fine. The battery life is good, but it doesn't cut the grass very well. I don't think the blade spins fast enough, and I'm going to work on a little modification for it. However, back when I did the gas-powered lawnmower thing, and maybe this goes back 10 years or so, I went and bought a gas can because the one I had was leaking or something. And Like, you need to go to community college for a semester to get a certificate to know how to use the gas can.
The new ones.
The new ones. Because you got to, like, flip a thing and then push it, and it's pressurized. And they're like, who thought of this? Like, why is this that difficult? Well, apparently, Lee Zeldin of the EPA is working to undo these ridiculously restrictive gas cans that have been in place. Like, you can't go just buy a regular old gas can.
Not anymore.
The ones that we grew up with.
The red ones with the screw-off nozzle.
Yeah, right. That when you tip it, it pours. Imagine that. What?
This is like Common Core math. The plus sign was not enough. We have to do this step, then this step, then this step, then this step, then this step, and then you have the answer.
Can we just call them Common Core gas cans? That's what it is. So for the last 10 years, we've had Common Core gas cans, and I think we might be bringing sanity back to gas cans.
Yeah.
And I will say, the next time that I can walk into Harbor Freight or Ace or Rocknex or Walmart even, and I go through the hardware section and I see just a non-Common Core gas can, just a regular gas can, I will fall to my knees and I will praise God that America is America again.
Pledge your allegiance to the EPA for fixing this problem.
No. That'll never happen, but I will pledge my allegiance to common sense that overcame the stupidity at the EPA. So
yeah, when I saw this last night, I just sat there and thought, okay, I'm obviously not touching a gas can on a regular basis. We have an electric mower and a gas mower.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a gas can in our garage. I have not had a need to fill the generator or anything like that. But I kind of went, whose dumb idea was this? I hadn't really thought that gas cans had been altered.
Yeah.
Then when I read the story, I'm like, and we all got on board with this and thought this was good, like good practice, good knowledge? It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And I do think, I'm sure you could anecdotally go out and find some problems that were caused with the old style gas cans. But I think that they made the change because of theoretical threats, potential threats that they identified, rather than any mass environmental problems that were being caused by it. Like, they're the vegan at the party. They are let's create inconvenience and hassle, not to mention increased cost, because I'm sure it costs more to manufacture the Common Core gas cans than just the regular ones, because something bad might happen.
Right. Well, my other thing is, how much time, energy, and money was spent on passing the regulations here?
Yeah.
Geez, why didn't we spend that on something else?
Yes.
Something that's really a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And someone texted in, made a good point. How about light bulbs? They did the same stupid thing with light bulbs a while back. Everything was fine. But you know how they've gone to LED. Some of those light bulbs, I don't know if this is still true or not, but some of the light bulbs used to have mercury in them. So if they broke, you could get mercury vapor, which is terribly unhealthy. It is a true environmental threat, because they wanted to get away from the incandescent bulbs, which require more energy. But here's the dirty little secret. You want the dirty little secret? The incandescent bulbs, we live in a cold climate, and if you heat your home, if that heat is coming off an incandescent bulb, it means you need to run your heater a little bit less. It means you run your fireplace a little bit less. So that wasn't wasted energy in the wintertime and in the cooler months when we do run heaters. You turn those lights on, they put out light, and usually we count the heat that they give off as inefficient and unnecessary. But actually, if you're heating your home, it's contributing to the heating of your home. So it's not lost energy. And so there are a few months when, maybe you have to run the air conditioner a little bit more to compensate for the heat given off by that. So, but was it worth it to sort of overhaul everything that we did in America with our lighting just just for that.
Why not just give people a choice?
Yeah, exactly. Make them both, because I know if you own a large office building, you can save a significant amount of money shifting over to the LED bulbs. And so I get that. There is a role for it and a place for it. But I'll tell you, it's kind of insane what they do.
Right. We have gotten multiple texts saying they use the new gas cans and that they spill more with the new gas cans than they did with a traditional gas can.
Yeah, it's true, because you can't control the thing as much because you're too busy trying to put enough pressure applied to open up I still don't know how they work. All I know is sometimes I can figure it out where I flip something and then I push really hard and then the gas will come out. But what I'm usually filling is like a weed whacker, and
you don't need it guzzling out.
You don't. I need like a pint. And by the time you get it open and it starts flowing out, it overflows anyway. And you have spilled more gas than if you just had a gas can that you could control the flow of really easily. Like, it's stupid.
Okay, this is so dumb.
It is so dumb.
This is not a problem I even ever came across until last night when I read the article.
Yeah.
And now as we break it all down and I saw the information last night, this is so stupid.
Well, it is dumb, and it might even be measurable. The amount of blood pressure medication that is now needed additionally because you're so mad that you have to use the stupid Common Core gas can.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
Is that my rant?
Mm-hmm. Sure. This is the Green New Deal policies where they think that things are so much better with their grand ideas, and it doesn't really make a difference, but they sell it to the public. It's the plastic straws.
Yeah.
Paper straws. That's what they're doing with this.
That's true. Do you... Okay, Julia, I'll ask you this question, because there is a parade of environmental stupidity that comes from the left.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to a restaurant and they put one of those paper straws in your drink, or that's what they give you, what's your reaction to that?
I'm probably going to take it out, and I probably am not going to go back.
Yeah.
I'm
kind of the same
gross.
way. Yeah, they are. They get really really quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the same way. I don't want to drink from it.
But I will say this: I don't think I've had a paper straw in a long time.
It's less common. That's true.
Because we somehow developed some sanity around that situation.
Yeah. I always say, I'm in the mood to kill a turtle today. Could you give me a plastic straw?
You just say that right to the server.
Yeah, just say that. They'd probably look at you weird, like, what are you even talking about? Let's go to the phones. Caller, go ahead. How are you today?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Real quick, I know your frustration with gas cans. I deal with it all the time. I'm a contractor, but there is one gas can that I have found that I absolutely love, especially for filling small stuff. It's got a black flexible hose comes off the bottom of it, and on the handle it's got a little thumb thing. So you just open the valve when you want to open it and let go with your thumb, and it closes it.
That's smart.
It's really wonderful.
Okay.
But I only know of one place in town that sells it offhand, and I don't know if you want me to say their name over the phone or not, but or the radio. But I'll say it's Falls Plumbing. That's where I get mine at.
Okay.
They're wonderful gas fans.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. That's good to know. Good to know.
So there are some people that think outside the box and make something wonderful.
Yeah. And this gas can does meet the FDA's requirements for safety or whatever?
Yeah, because it's got a shut-off valve in it that you open with your thumb.
Okay.
All right.
That's smart.
Okay,
That's
good to know.
Thank you for the tip there. And not the FDA. That's Food and Drug. We're not, unless you're drinking gas. But this would be the EPA.
Not recommended.
No, we do not recommend that.
Please do not huff it either.
I have done that inadvertently, though.
Huffed it or drank it.
Look, you are not a farm kid until you've swallowed gasoline because you're siphoning it from a tractor. And I can think of 2 different occasions when I was a kid.
How long does that burn?
Oh, no, let me tell the story here. One time I got a big old swallow of it. And it was so nasty that it was horrible. In fact, right now, the memory is bringing back all of that. And your skin smells like gasoline for about 2 or 3 days.
Really?
Yeah, because your body's getting rid of it. So you You can smell the gasoline coming out of your skin pores. You take a bath, you take a shower, but if you ingest any of it internally, you can smell it coming out of your skin. But the problem is using a garden hose. You can't see the gas coming out. Now, if you have a clear hose, you can see that
it coming up
a lot more clearly. And there are way better ways to get gas into your lawnmower than getting a garden hose and going out to the tractor and sucking it out of the tractor and I can taste it. It's still terrible.
You know how I joke that they pulled you boys aside during the maturation film for the girls?
Yeah.
And they taught you guys how to drive with your knee?
Yeah.
Like we're over learning the other stuff and they're like, okay, here's your steering wheel. This is what you do with your knee. Like they also taught you how to siphon gas in that that time frame too, didn't they?
So, they're probably like, right after we talk about your changing bodies, we're going to talk about siphon gas. I wish they would have done that.
How to drive with your knee and siphon gas.
That would have been nice. Somebody said this is why farm kids are so tough. Yes. Yeah. Not a lot of gas tractors anymore. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. We're old.
Would have been nice back in 1983. All right. 9:37 on News Talk 107.9. We'll take a quick break for our bottom hour and be back. 208-542-1079. 9:42 on News Talk 107.9. Somebody texted in, Julie. Neal, I have to call BS on your story. I believe almost 100% of farm tractors run on diesel fuel. That explains why the lawnmower wouldn't work after that. No, we had tractors. We had one or two that they were the old open air style tractors with the metal seat and they were definitely gasoline. And we also had a Massey Ferguson cab tractor. That one was diesel, but we did have a couple of really old tractors that did run on gasoline. So. I'm glad that you're fact-checking me and calling BS on my story.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I can assure you that siphoning gas from a tractor was a real thing.
That it happened.
And it was probably a tractor from maybe the year on it. Old, though. In early 1980s, it was probably late 40s, early to mid-50s kind of tractor. So still running. You take good care of a tractor, it'll go for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
do you still wish you had a tractor? Wouldn't it be fun?
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Someone, okay, I'm going to hook these people up because we just got a couple of texts. We had several old gas tractors. Someone said, we still run 2 gas-powered tractors on the farm today.
Okay.
So I call BS on that previous text. Tractor Wars on the Neal Larson Show.
When people ask me what it's like to be on the radio, this is one of the things. You get to the 9 o'clock hour on the last day of the week, and we're having a fight over gas and tractors on a political talk show.
I know. It's weird. What food? We were talking about food. Like, what was it? We were talking about food a day or two ago at the beginning of the hour, and we meandered for a little while about food.
Well, hummus and that refried beans are basically the hummus in the Mexican world.
That's true.
And you like refried beans, but you will not try hummus, and how inappropriate that is.
Yeah.
You brought it up.
I brought it up as a topical inquiry, not to resurrect the controversy, but I appreciate you wanting to refight an old battle. I recognize.
I always refight the old ones I win.
That's true. It's like watching the Super Bowl from 1982. My team won.
Why do I still watch Michael Jordan highlights?
Hey, I would bet you have Dallas Cowboys fans that rewatch the Super Bowl from 1990, whatever.
This is why we were America's team.
Yes. Dem boys. I know I'm going to get hate now.
Yes, you will.
We love you, by the way. Someone said, Neal, I never doubt your integrity. So, okay. And it's the same person who called BS on my story.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Someone said, our old Alice Chalmers tractor ran on gas. I win the point. Can we just
Sure.
Okay, I won.
Sure.
I lost on the hummus the other day. I'll win on the gas today.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Now, Julie said, what are we going to talk about?
I did say that over the commercial break.
And
I don't know what else we're going to talk about.
Lori Vallow Daybell's getting sentenced today. And I don't even care.
Yeah.
She's, I mean, whatever it is.
Take care of it quickly and get her back into prison.
Be done and then get her back on. Will they fly her back up or will they put her on a van and bring her back?
I don't know. Would you want to ride for 12 hours in a van with her?
No, I would not.
That wouldn't be that enjoyable.
I don't think I would. But I don't know if they'd put her on a
No, she's definitely not going to be on a commercial flight.
Yeah.
So they might do the cheapest route, which is
probably
van.
Drive her in a van. Well, I have a question. I don't know why I thought about this the other day. I think it was with all the Kohberger stuff because they're getting him. Anyway, whatever. I'm like, if you have to be in a car with a convicted murderer, is there conversation between the deputies that are driving? Do they talk about the weather and what they had for lunch? And do they just have casual conversations? And the elephant in the room is this person killed somebody and you just ignore that and talk like normal?
Yep. I think that definitely happens.
Would you?
You have to come to that place. If this is your job.
Yeah.
And you work for, the Idaho prison, you talk to people who have killed or raped or, seriously harmed. You talk to violent people all the time. I think you come to a place where you find the humanity in them. And I also believe that was part of the issue with Kohberger and watching the sentencing a couple of days ago. And was it Tuesday? There felt like there wasn't any humanity in him. If you look at the video or the pictures that were provided from Jeremy Best's sentencing yesterday, he's weeping.
Yeah.
Right along with the family.
I saw that.
We didn't see any humanity out of Kohberger at all. And I'm not sure we saw much humanity out of Lori.
Well, my question is is this even further on the spectrum here? Somebody who's she clearly shows emotion, but it's almost a complete lack of awareness of her role in the murders and death of her children. She won't even talk to you about that. It's weird. That almost feels worse than sitting there stoic and stone-faced.
Yeah, both are really bad.
They're terrible. Yeah, I don't want to say one's better than the other, but one might be worse than the other.
Yeah.
And I don't know with her, if I had to ride in a car with her for 12 hours from Phoenix to Pocatello, I don't know that I'd care to even carry on a conversation. And other than, why don't you just come clean? Why don't you just say what your role was? Now, they're not going to do it, and that's clear. So it's a pie in the sky thing. But I think, and you're right, it's easy to armchair quarterback somebody else's job. But in my mind, I have a hard time just kind of humanizing them with everyday chatter. To me, that's really hard for me to figure out how I would navigate that.
I don't know how I'd navigate it. I think it would be difficult with Lori because she's so combative and I wouldn't want to fight with somebody for 12 hours. So my option would be just stay silent.
But I think she's probably only combative when you press her on the murders. From what I've heard, she's great in other
everyday
inmates
life.
Love her. They think she's really engaging. And I think when you start pressing her on the crimes she's committed, that's when she does get combative. But I don't know. Let's go to the phones. 208-542-1079. Caller, go ahead.
I've got a suggestion for let Arizona keep her and serve out her first life terms there. And then we'll take her back and we'll save Idaho a few dollars.
After she's done serving her life sentence in Arizona.
Yeah. They wanted her so bad. Let her. They can keep her and let her serve out her time in Arizona first.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate the thought. That's not how the legal system works, but I do appreciate the thought. First in line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was the question. Here's a question. I want to know if you know the answer.
Okay.
Let's say, do you serve the sentence based on which crime was committed first or which sentence was handed down first? Because what if let's say Arizona's trial was first, but because Charles' murder was before the murders of the kids.
Chronologically, Charles' murder was the first murder.
First.
Yes.
But they don't do it based on the commission of crime. They based it on the infliction of the sentence.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
I also believe, now I would have to look this up for certain, but also in Idaho, her conviction for the murder of her children is a higher charge than the murder of Charles. One was a conspiracy, one was a murder. And I think that also trumps it. Yeah, okay, I think it would be a double layer of trump, that was the first conviction and it was a higher conviction.
Okay, so there is some coordination with the states on what this more serious crime is.
I mean, let's say your first conviction, let's do something of a lesser degree. Yep. Let's say you were in Idaho and you were convicted of armed robbery. Mm-hmm. And then a year later, they convicted you in Arizona for murder.
Yeah.
I think Arizona's going to take you at that point because your crime is...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to keep you at the level of the crime that you committed in Idaho because you're going to get a different kind of prison sentence for that.
True. Okay.
Yeah. And her most severe crime that she committed was JJ and Tylee.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah. So if you're JJ and Tylee's family, you want her punishment in Idaho to be the one carried out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That makes sense. 9:53 on News Talk 107.9. And let's take a really quick break. We'll be back and wrap it up after this. Right now, you can save up to $5,000 instantly on your home purchase at Clayton Homes Sign and Save event. That's $2,500 on a single section home or $5,000 on a multi-section home. And Clayton Homes, they're changing the way that homes are built, making them affordable to buy and cost less to live in. And cost less to live in because they put in energy smart features for year-round comfort and savings. They're designed with you in mind with these premium features that turn your house into your dream home. They're built with thick insulation and tight construction, and they're designed to help keep you comfortable and to help save you money as well. And so get the luxury, the quality, and the style you want in a beautiful, affordable home with energy-efficient features that fit your budget, and they are ready to help you find your dream home. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save Sales event can be found at manufacturedhomeoffers.com, available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through August 31st. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details and may not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply. Visit the local Clayton Homes near you or browse their limited time deals at manufacturedhomeoffers.com in order to learn more. All right, it's 9:58 on News Talk 107.9. Neal Larson along Julie Mason.
All right.
Okay, Julie.
Okay. Weekend plans.
Weekend plans. Well, definitely eating that jalapeno burger.
Great.
Gonna do
this
that.
This is a good idea.
Yeah.
Do we have good weather coming up?
Probably spend a little time with family. You know what? I checked a couple of days ago. Let's see. But I think that we do have,
pretty
80s.
Decent, mid-80s here, so we're not going to be sweltering.
Yeah, 91, 92, 92. So, yeah, we do.
Yeah, great.
All right. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. And Julie and I will be back here Monday morning on News Talk 107.9. Clay and Buck next.